Yes, I know, things are looking a little bit different at the model table, aren't they? And undoubtedly some very astute viewer, maybe a lot of you, are noticing I've got my car plugged in. Well, there's a good reason for that, and maybe I'll explain in this insert. Now, it's not because it's so cold outside and I'm plugging in the engine, although mind you, my thermometer is only 6 degrees Celsius at the moment outside. No, I'm plugging in my battery. Now, the last time I used my car was when I went to the drugstore to pick up my water pills. Yeah, and that was what, the 19th of last month, if you notice on the GPS there on the bottom of the screen? Yeah, that's over 5 weeks ago now. So I'm kind of concerned about my battery, which is not new anymore. And in about 3 days, in exactly 3 days, I've got to make sure that my car will start. I'll be explaining that in the next insert. So what we're doing here is we're plugging in that little battery maintainer that we bought a few months ago. You know, the one we used all last winter? Yeah, it only puts out 800 milliamps, but I think that over 3 days, 800 milliamps should bring the battery right up to snuff, unless there's something wrong with the battery. And I don't think there is, but it's 4 years old. Okay, so why is the model table looking so bare? Well, it's because last night I did come back to the model table, but it wasn't to work on the hood. No, I was assembling what was in that box that came yesterday. So maybe I better explain that. And if you don't want to watch, well, just fast forward about 4 minutes or so and you'll get through it. Now, the reason that it's so important that my car starts in 3 days is because in 3 days I'm scheduled to have my first COVID-19 shot. Yeah, I don't know why it's taken me so long to get on this. I think just over half of the people here in our area have had their shots already, and usually I'm very anxious to be a good citizen and just get right on something like that. Anyway, probably some sort of psychiatrist could tell me why I waited so long, but we don't need to get into that. What my problem is and why I bought myself a walker is because I am afraid that I might end up in some big long lineup at the COVID center, and I'm going to have to stand. And if there's no place for me to sit down while I'm in line, well, I'll be screwed because my knees will give out on me. I just know that I can't stand for more than maybe 10-15 minutes. And anyway, we don't need to get into that. So I've got myself a walker here. Now, I know I had said that we don't need to get into that, but you know, it's kind of funny because years ago, up until maybe 10 years ago, I did a lot of walking. Now, I know that I was diagnosed with anserin bursitis and osteoarthritis in my knees, whatever that all means. However, and that was a long time ago. I'm kind of wondering if all the walking that I did in the previous years, and the running and jogging and stuff like that I did when I was younger, is it possible that that sort of wore my knees out? Is that possible? I always thought that exercise and stuff like that, you know, strengthened a person's joints and what have you. But maybe I was actually doing myself harm. I don't know. All I know is that right now my knees are really bothering me. Well, maybe once I get my weight down, things will be a little bit better. And it's going down. Just want to tell you that today I reached halfway to my goal. I'm kind of pleased with myself. Way back at the beginning of February when I started my diet, I didn't think that I was going to be able to stick to it, but it's going really good. Maybe one day I'll tell you what I'm doing. But you know, we got to get back to the model here, for goodness sakes, Ron. Well, I'm actually quite impressed so far. I haven't tried to put it together yet, but when you first open the box and you see this almost looks like a box of spaghetti, you kind of hope that the instructions are explicit, and then when you look at the instructions and they don't seem to be. But once you get the pieces all unwrapped, I mean, it's basically you don't even need the instructions. I mean, you almost can't go wrong. I'm very impressed with the fact that everything is ball bearing, like all the The wheels are ball bearing. Even the swivel here is ball bearing. So they could have cheaped out and just used bushings. Now this thing, I'll have to look it up, but as best I remember, it was only $106 delivered to the door here in Canada. So I mean, you can't expect a whole lot. This one is only rated for 250 pounds, but fortunately, since I've been on a diet, I now qualify. I can actually sit on something like that and not worry about going down to the floor. Anyway, I'm going to just go ahead and put it together, and then we'll sort of try it out. Well, we got it together. It's fairly light. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's got power brakes. Okay, let's just try this out here. Now the idea is I get to the Covet Center and there's a big lineup. My knees are giving out. Okay, the first time I put this together, I had it adjusted with the seat as high as it would go, and I realized that was too high. So yeah, this is going to be all right. Okay, I'm all set to get my first shot. And if I have to stand in line, I don't care. Now, one nice thing about putting the walker together last night was that I finally got the model table sort of cleaned up. Yeah, it was becoming what you might call a horrendous mess. Anyway, we are basically done with this part, this aspect of step 54. And yeah, we got our little ladder on the back there. Got those other two ladders on yesterday. These pieces here are all on now, so we can move on to this step here, which we already did some of, which probably made it more difficult for me to put the ladders in place, but not that much. Their placement was just really awkward. So we got these two pieces on. Maybe I'll reposition so that we're a little closer here. Okay, so we have these two pieces in place. A29. Well, A29 is a 6-tread ladder. And there's only one 6-tread ladder left, so it's got to be this one right here. And it has got to go, we'd go straight down, it goes up against this building right here. Maybe once again I'll reposition so that we can see it being done properly. Now I'm going to use the holder downer here that we made for when we were doing the Bismarck. Now, it could well be that this is not going to work out the way I hoped. But I was having difficulty there with my tweezers. Having difficulty with the holder downer too. Okay. Am I losing my touch? You mean you had it, Ron? Maybe a pin would be better. I'm just trying to hook in like this and swing this around. The thing is, it kind of... maybe this was not a good idea. Now if I steady the manual, it appears that the ladder does not go right on the corner here, but it is slightly in, and I'm noticing on the plastic there. Oh, I'm trying to move it over, but it doesn't want to move over. There's a couple of little marks. You know, that's more or less perfect. I'm thinking if I put a little bit of CA right there on that top step, yes, I know we're going to see it. Or should I just do it mainly just on the bottom? And then, well, I guess I can always repaint, right? Now I have deliberately overexposed this in the hopes that that black ladder will show up, but I'm hoping it's not going to. I just want to just get a little on the top there. Okay, I think that's all we're going to need. You know, I think maybe if I'm careful and not bump this ladder, it's going to stay in place just by being glued on at the top. I don't think I need to make a mess down at the bottom of the stringers where it touches the lower deck there, even though I know that would strengthen it. I have a tendency to overglue. I'm sure you have not noticed that, though. Okay, now can I carefully remove the holder downer without everything falling apart? Now I did reinforce it a little bit on the top rung there. It was almost what you might say loose when I was looking at it. So, but the CA doesn't seem to show up too bad. So I'm kind of happy here. Now, according to the manual, this piece of railing here is supposed to go on top of that little box type thing that we just put the ladder up against. And got to try and remove it from the double-sided tape here. Maybe I should pry it up with a sharp knife here. Just hang on a second. Okay, since I cleaned off the hobby table, I can't find anything. Why is this not going? Okay, now you'll remember this is our bulletproof Steinel res here, so, but I don't want to scratch on it any more than I have to. Yep. Come on. Okay, that one's released. Now, I know I'm coming at it from the back, but okay, that one's released. trying to do stuff in the monitor, like turn these around when everything's kind of backwards. It's there we go. Okay, I think I got it off without damaging it. It doesn't seem to want to fit here. That is where this is supposed to go, isn't it? It almost looks like the railing is too big and it's just gonna... Well, I'm gonna have to reposition here. I just can't do it at this angle. You know what? I looked up in the monitor and I can see where the bottom rail on the left-hand side there is kind of bent down. Maybe if I was to take and sort of bend it the other way. Yeah, you can see it's bent there. Maybe when we pulled it off with the double-sided tape, I don't know. Okay, I've readjusted everything here, but I'm noticing I got dust. Where's that paint? Well, we're probably going to have more of a mess before we're through. All right. Alright, now I think if I was to get one corner, let the glue dry, cure, and then get another corner, and then I could take like this one right here, which is obviously too far in this way. You know, we'll be able to bend it out and adhere it to this corner. The back part, well, let's just see if we can get a little bit of... Maybe it's just not a good idea, but what else am I going to do here? Okay, let's let that cure. Okay, I put on the super macro here. And I can see in the monitor that, yeah, we got it. Well, I know we haven't got much modeling done here today. A lot of fooling around with the car and but all I can say is thanks for watching, if you're still watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.